Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. I'm gonna just scoot back a tad bit, y'all. All right. This video we are talking about OWN's Friday night show, Ready to Love. Ooh, something on my nose. This is season 10, episode 10, Getaway Part 2. Before we get into it, don't hesitate to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure y'all like or hit thumbs up button is like, my bad. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video where you like to share your content. I'm hungry, y'all. I'm getting hangry, okay? Food is on the way. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of the getaway overall and who went home. I got a lot of opinions and I'm very irritated with these ladies' choices specifically. Or how I used to say specifically, Tay. And we're gonna get into it. Don't forget to share the video where you got to share your content. Okay, let's get into it. So basically, we pick up where we left off. We're on the getaway. Angie and Deanna are in the bottom as they should be. Really, both of them could have packed it up and went home, but they didn't. They called it mini date. They called it little dates on the getaway. Child, them was not dates anyway. They was meeting outside on the patio. Okay. Anyway, with a drink in their hand. So Angie came in her little jean dress. Cam said he liked her little outfits. They were having a discussion about the conversation they had. He didn't like the fact that she walked away from their conversation. Now, I didn't recall her walking away from the conversation. I didn't know that's, I mean, she did walk away, but he wanted to be alone. So I guess in his mind, she walked away, whatever. So she don't really see the problem. She feels like she wants to be able to speak up for herself. And she was like, yeah, but you walked away too. And he's like, no, I walked away from the group. I didn't walk away from you per se. And so he said, I like the fact that you walked away and we're having a conversation. And he was like, I want to feel like I do something wrong. Then you're going to be busting the windows out of my car. And she was like, okay, well, don't do nothing to make me mad. But people are human. I'm going to do something to make y'all mad. Y'all going to do something to make me mad. That's life, right? It's just about how we handle it and give each other grace and move forward. So she was like not really understanding why we're even having this conversation. She didn't say she would bust his windows out. She just said she did it in the past because that's what the question was. I'm like, Angie, girl, please stop. Just please stop. It's giving immature. Okay. Even when I was in my 20s, I never thought about busting the window out somebody's car. Yeah, I got mad and I wanted to do stuff. Maybe I wanted to be vindictive at a time, but I never thought of those kind of extremes, right? So ultimately he told her she's still ready to love, and she was like, duh, and she cussed or something like she already knew, and he was like, okay, like calm down with all that. And she was like, she didn't even know why she was there having that conversation. Girl, really? Angie could have went home too. She is not ready for love. I'm sorry. She is not. She's giving a good time, not a long time. Back over there with Deanna and Khalil. Deanna, what were you wearing? That plaid jean, what was that? Please don't do it again. Speaking of looks, did we get Deanna's blonde wig this time? I can't remember, but I will say I was noticing we were getting some confessional looks. I mean, reunion looks in the confessionals. We got Tay's, which I think we saw last week. We also got Kiara's. She had on like a blue dress and her hair was a little different. That color, that wig was very cute on her. The hair looked better than her hair looked in the women's vault. We're gonna get to that because that wig in the women's vault or whatever that was, Kara looked thrown together in that women's vault today in this episode. I mean, and then we also got Sahara's reunion look because she had on that red dress with the cutouts and her hair was not in braids. She was pretty. Anyway, that's just a side note. So Khalil was like, you basically don't have no connections, girl. So, like, are me and you just friends or more? She's like, right now, she just see them as a friend level. She said she got to know people. She realized, like, basically these ones not her people. And we already knew Deanna's match was not on this show. And so she said she realized it take her a little longer to get to know people and really build a connection. Girl, we don't have all day. It's ready to love. It's barely like a 10-week process. We got to get going. Anyway, he was like, yeah, so if that's the case, you are not ready to love. She said she agrees with the decision. And he was like, oh, really? You feel like you're not ready to love either as well? And she's like, no, I feel like I'm ready to love. I just feel like, basically she felt like this was not the process for her and she takes longer to build a connection. I'm like, no, girl, you're not ready to love. She says she does realize like maybe she can like have a guard up or be, too independent and all that. Okay, girl, you're not ready to love. So now this puts Khalil in a situation where he only has Tay left as a connection, and we're gonna get to that. So then everybody's feeling some type of way because Deanna left. So they played this little drinking game, or producers gave him another game to play. Read the card, and you drink if you like to watch yourself having sex in the mirror, and you drunk to that. But she said she needed her glasses to see what was going on. Now my place where I live, the closet doors are mirrors, which I love. So if I'm in my bed doing adult activities, I can see myself, which I don't mind that. I like it. So anyway, there's like drink if you like commitment, drink if you like to, push buttons in a relationship. Kiera told Jay to drink. Drink if you want to have sex, gotta have sex before marriage. And so Jay said you got to test drive the whip. Tay was liking all of Khalil's answers, and she wants to see where their connection is, if it can grow, and yada yada. So moving on the next day, everybody's cooking and whatever in the kitchen. So we see Kiera and Tay outside talking. So Khalil comes over. Khalil was looking good, honey. He had on his swim trunks and no top. The braids or dreads, whatever they are, was pulled back. He was looking good. All the tattoos. I don't understand what the ladies are doing on this show. I don't get it. Y'all choosing Naeem and Cisco over Khalil and Jay over Khalil. I don't get it. But maybe Khalil wasn't giving them all too much energy. And you know what? Maybe they don't deserve his energy. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about why the ladies were not picking Khalil. Let me know in the comments why you think Khalil gets eliminated at the end. Why do you think that? Anyway, so they sit down and talk, and they said they really built a friendship and they're building a connection. So Khalil does bring up the fact that he did say he wants to wait 3 or 4 years before he has kids. Tay wants to have kids 2 to 3 years after she gets married. She started getting mad, saying, "Why you didn't bring this up before?" But he did bring it up before, and she's like, "Why you didn't make it a big point?" And he's like, "Well, I feel like it's a good time to talk about it." And she's like, "He said he wants to get married and enjoy his partner and travel. I don't have no problem with that." And so she said, that's a problem for her. She's like, "I don't know why you didn't say anything before, because then I wouldn't have moved forward with you." And she said she wants to have kids right away. She want to have kids now versus waiting and having them, 40 plus. Now, as a Black woman, as a woman, I get it. Our biological clocks are ticking. I'm getting close to 40 myself. I'm I'm 37, so I get it. No man, marriage, kids in sight, which is okay. I'm fine with that. My time will come when it's supposed to come. And I get it, for biology reasons, yeah, Tay should probably try to have a kid sooner rather than later. But then who are you settling to have a kid with? Cisco, who has no stability, versus Khalil, who has all the stability? So you would rather settle and have a kid. You think it's better to have a kid with somebody who has no house and no home and no car, versus someone that may make you wait a few years. And she is in the medical field. She is a nurse anesthesiologist. So I'm sure she could make sure she got the best care needed. Like, I get her point as far as the timeline of it all. But girl, a lot of women now are having kids 40 plus. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. I just feel like that was not the hill to die on, in my opinion. But again, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. So moving on. So then he's like, "Well, I don't know what to do from here." He said, "Let's be friends." Okay. And she agreed. So then we did see Rose and Cam having a conversation. And so she's like, "I just letting you do your thing. I see you have your other connections. It's not a big deal to me." And he said, but he do want to spend more time with her. She said that her and Hussein never made her feel, even though she knows Hussein has other connections, never made her feel like she wasn't like number one, basically, or important connection. And as versus Cam was like trying to juggle everybody. He said, he's still liking her, he feeling her, he want more time with her. Okay. Moving on, we see Kiera and Jay. So Kara said she was mad the whole weekend. She not getting over it. She tried to enjoy the game, but she's still mad. Now, how long we been at this getaway? Because girl, why are you still mad? So anyway, she was sitting outside. Jay comes to try to talk to her. He tried to apologize and for how everything looked, and she was like, okay, but do you and Sahara have a connection? And he was like, no, like me and her, we just cool. She's my friend, like that's it. And so she's like, cool, if I bring her out here, she's gonna say the same thing, right? And he's like, all right, bring her out here. So then they summoned Sahara. Sahara came through. Um, she asked Sahara, do you and Jay have a connection? She said yes. And so she's like, when I see him, we cool, we vibe, we this and that. And so Jay said, no, we don't have a connection like that. And so we just friends. And so Kiara's thing is like, okay, if you're just friends, then you're not connected like that. And so Sahara was, I thought the point of the show was we were supposed to connect with everybody. Everyone's supposed to be dating each other and getting to know everybody, which is the point of the show. So, Jay was like, no, like that's not what it was. Like Kiara's, my number one. And so Sahara's like, okay, well, he told me that he's free to, mix and mingle with everybody. And he was like, yeah, I did say that because that's what she told me to do. And so I was like, okay, now I'm not understanding, like I'm confused. And so Sahara's like, you know what, I'm over this conversation, I'm done with it. Because Sahara's thing is like, okay, and like she said in her confessional, he basically was saying what he needed to say to make her feel comfortable, and she didn't like that. Like she's done with him for that. And I don't blame her, because Jay was playing in that lady face. He was. So anyway, so Kiara still not having it with Jay. She rocks out in the conversation as well. Didn't go his way. So later on, then we see what is that guy's name? Hussein have a conversation with Angie, and Angie, wanted to take Tommy's advice and talk to Hussein about, the whole issue with her leading. Now, I thought she was supposed to do that with Cam, but they didn't show that. They showed her having a conversation with Hussein, which I thought was weird. So she explained, she didn't even explain, and maybe they chopped and screwed it in the editing, but she didn't explain like what she explained to us on camera in the vault. But she was saying, asking him, what does it mean to lead to him? And so he said, where he's taking care of everything, and generic answer basically. And so she was saying like her mom, she held down everything. She can handle everything. She was a homemaker. And she said she just needs someone who's going to really want to be there and show her and be good to her, be kind to her, and want to be there to lead her and feel like she wants to basically feel secure enough to let that person lead, is what she was basically saying. And so she wants, the person to give her all the love, give all the love to Angie. So he gave her a hug, give her some love. He said Rose is still his top, but he feels like Angie is still in the running. I don't see Angie getting chosen on the bridge. I don't see that happening. I think Angie has some more work to do. That's why I feel like she should have been packing it up with Deanna. Moving on. Then we do see later on that night. Did they play another game? For some reason, I thought they played another game, but I could be wrong. Anyway, Cisco and Tay. So Cisco invites Tay outside for a little mini date, and he gives her a massage. And Tay really liked it. He was just saying, he appreciates. Now he's just talking all this talk while he's massaging her and saying he appreciates her giving him the time and space to, take care of what he needs to take care of, and a good woman by his side, with him trying to, build his career and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I hated this for Tay. I just hated it. I hated seeing it. It literally made me sick to my stomach. I just hate it. I just cringed to watch it. I did. I don't see it for Cisco. He ain't even like, he nice looking, but he ain't all that to me. He not my type. Yeah, the muscles are good. He got the little Puerto Rican thing going for him, I guess, but I don't know. I just don't see it for him. And then I'm sorry, no car, no home and no car make you ugly to me. I'm sorry. No, no. So Tay, you rather be able to have a baby in 2 years with somebody who can't even put you and the baby in the house? Can't even drive you and the baby to the hospital? Instead of waiting 4 years to have a baby with Khalil? Now, I will say, I think Khalil is only 31. and Tay is either in her late 30s, early 40s. So if I'm wrong about the ages, let me know in the comments. I think that might have played a part into why some of the ladies weren't picking Khalil in that whole baby thing. But some of the girl like Angie already has a kid, Rose already has a kid. I know those two for sure. So I mean, but most of the women didn't have kids, so um that's understandable. All right, it's heading my way. So anyway, moving on. I think that's pretty much it with the getaway, y'all. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss it. If I missed something about the getaway, let me know in the comments. Anywho, I swore they played another game, but I could be wrong. Moving on, we get back to Philly, finally off the getaway. And before they left, Jay was asking Carrie if she was, feeling better. She said she felt happier than before, and he was like, "Give me a hug, girl." I was like, "Okay, Jay." Anyway, they get back to the ladies' vault. And the ladies deliberate about the men. Tay was talking about how Cisco got them hands. Tommy was like, "How was he using them hands, girl?" She's talking about the massage. She said he's a man's man. He feels like makes her feel like Tay is number one, and that is it. I'm like, girl, really? I just hate this for Tay. Like, is Tay helping Cisco make it to the end? Is Tay really thinking? Because they were talking about when he was massaging her, like they could see a future for each other after the show. And I'm like, really? I don't see it. They're not going to make it past the reunion. I'm sorry. In my opinion, I'm not trying to wish down for anyone, but I just don't understand what Tay is doing, and her logic makes no sense to me. Minus the baby timeline thing, I kind of get, like I said, but no. I'm just so disappointed in this whole thing. And there's no love connections on this show. I don't see it for nobody. Maybe Rose and Hussein, and that's a slim maybe. I don't see nobody making it to the bridge and to the reunion in love or in like or anything. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, like I said, the ladies were deliberating, and Tay, says Cisco's her man like that. Then they somehow got on the topic of like Hussein and Cam. Sahara feels like Cam, needs to make a decision. He was trying to juggle all the women. It wasn't really going well. Angie talked about the situation her and Cam got into about the busting the windows out the car, and Tommy asked it to get resolved, and she was like, not really. She doesn't know where she stands with Cam at this point. And she wants to be able to feel like she can speak up and say, her what she wants to say, So then Rose said, she did give Cam space to juggle all his connections, and but he did say he wants to spend more time with her, and she said that she feels like she knows her connection with Cam is deeper than the other ladies, or she knows Cam better than the other ladies. So the other ladies was like, girl, what? Like, how do you know? What are you talking about? That's what Sahara said. And so she was like, because I take the time to get to know him and really ask him those questions. And I was like, girl, Rose, you're doing too much. You're doing too much once again. You're buying shirts. You think you know him so well, girl, you're doing too much. So Sahara was like, girl, not too much. In her confessional, she was like, no, she didn't like that. She feel like Rose was trying to play her. I don't know. It's something about Rose. It's something about Rose that's a little off to me. I don't know. Anyway, then they got on the topic of Hussein, and Rose said that, Hussein treated her exactly the way she thought he would during the retreat. And so she is good with that. Her, their connection is pretty good. Angie said that, she did have a talk with Hussein, and their connection is good as well, but I don't think it's like where Rose's is. But she didn't say that. But I don't know. She was like fidgeting and drinking in her seat, and her seat when Rose is talking about Hussein. So I think Angie's not quite sure where she stands with the men. And I think she did say that in the confessional. They talked about Kiara and Jay. Kiara talked about what Jay did with Sahara. So then nephew Tommy asked Sahara, wait a minute, is there a connection between you and Jay? And she was like, yeah. And so I'm like, girl, what? And so even Tommy was like, okay, girl. And so Kiara said she don't have a problem with that. Her problem is with Jay not making that clear. Like if he had another connection, because from day one, they were like, my man, which they were. It sounds like she just wanted him to be honest if he did have other connections, but he was making it like it was only her. because she did say he was free to explore other connections, right? So anyway, um, so then they got on the topic of Khalil. Tay brought up the whole thing with the baby. Now she said he needed 4 to 5 years, but I don't think he said that. I think he said 3 to 4 years to have a baby. But anyway, so Tay said, she's no longer feeling him, and so yeah, Khalil's just a rat floating around. Now I thought Khalil was going to self-eliminate on the getaway. That's what I thought we were going to see, a scene with him, going to talk to nephew Tommy and tell him that this is not going to work out for him. Because we always get one self-eliminator, but he didn't. And I wondered, did the producers make him stick it out so they would have someone to eliminate? Sorry, y'all. Check my phone because the order is on the way. It's approaching, so let's wrap it up. So anyway, they get down to the dates. Rose takes Khalil out, and Kiara takes Jay out. And so Kiara again is trying to explain to Jay why things are inappropriate. He's like, I apologize how I looked from a visual level. And she was like, okay, but what if I was touching and rubbing all over my friends? You would not like that. And he was like, okay, but it wasn't about to get intimate just because I'm rubbing on somebody. That's leading to intimacy. That is intimate. Like, what are you saying? So she's like, I'm about to get mad all over again. And I don't blame her. So then he was like, okay, I get it. You want me to set boundaries. I didn't know that before. I'm learning that from you. I'm learning how you are. Like, you didn't know to set boundaries? Is that why your last relationship didn't work, sir? Because you don't know how to set boundaries? Anyway, I believe he a liar. He's a liar. And in the vault, when nephew told me, asked Sahara, okay, how do you feel about Jay now? And she was like, his ass is grass. Like she's not feeling him anymore. Cam is her only connection at this point. So anyway, hold on, y'all. All right. So hold on, is this going? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Make sure I press play. So she did tell him like she don't want nobody to think that they could just get away with basically playing on her top like that. Like that is not okay with her. But he is still ready to love. He was like, oh, thank God. And then Rose basically let Khalil know that, the ladies had an issue with the whole having kids timeline thing. And, at this point, where does it leave him? Because it's too late to make new connections. Ultimately, he's not ready to love. Now, Rose was talking about he was walking around in some pajamas and his shirt off and everything. I was like, why didn't that show us more of that? Khalil is a nice looking man to me. He seems like he has his life together. I don't understand why the ladies let this one slip away, but y'all kept Cisco and Daddy Daycare and Hussein, who wants threesomes. Anyway, and Cam, who somehow made it this far with 3 connections. Anyway, Slim Pickens and Philly. Anyway, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We will come back with Love and Marriage Huntsville either today or tomorrow. If I have the energy to do it today, I'll do it tonight. Anyway, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. My food is at the door, so I got to go. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.